My life fades, the vision dims, and all that remains are memories. This one isn't my story. I heard it when I was just a boy, maybe 8, maybe 10 years old, and it came from a man who didn't speak unless he had something worth saying, Mr. Pfister. If you've ever met him, you know what I mean. He's not a man of long speeches, not a man of wasted words, so when he chose to tell me this, I listened, and I've never forgotten it. He told me that when he was a child, no older than 5 or 8, he lived in a monastery carved into the side of a mountain, a place of law, of order, of discipline so precise that even breathing felt controlled. Every movement had purpose, every lesson measured. And above them all stood the one who embodied that control completely, Iriandel the ever-blooming, the Grandmaster of Flowers. But that's not who stayed with him. He remembered Manawa, the youngest of the masters, not the Master of Winds, not the Master of Stone. Manawa was the Master of Dragons, and he did not earn that title through patience, he earned it through power. Even among the masters he stood apart. The others moved like water, balanced, flowing, controlled. Manawa moved like a blade, sharp, immediate, final. Mr. Pfister told me that even as a child he would watch him train, not from where he was supposed to be, but from the edges, from behind pillars, from places where he could see, but not be seen. And what he saw left an impression. Manawa didn't hold back. Where others struck with precision, Manawa struck with intent to end. Where others demonstrated control, Manawa demonstrated dominance, and the boy, he was in awe, because even at that age he could see the difference. The monastery taught balance. But Manawa looked like truth, and one day that difference became too great to ignore. The masters gathered, a full circle, silent, still. At the centre sat Iriandel the ever-blooming, and before them stood Manawa, no bow, no hesitation, only frustration, finally given voice. You train them to be slow, Manawa said. You call it discipline, you call it balance, but the world will not wait for balance. His eyes turned, just slightly, not to the masters, but past them, to where the students stood, to where one small figure watched more closely than the rest. The child must be forged, Manawa said, not softened. Power must be taught early, or it is wasted. The courtyard went still. Mr. Pfister told me he didn't understand all the words, but he understood one thing. This wasn't about the masters anymore. This was about him, or someone like him. Iriandel did not raise his voice, did not argue. He simply said, "Then show us, Manawa." And Manawa did. He moved first, faster than thought. The courtyard erupted, stone cracked beneath his feet, air split with every strike. Masters were driven back, forced to defend, forced to react. This was not a lesson. This was power, unleashed. And the boy, he did not look away, because what he saw was everything the monastery said not to be. And yet, it worked. Manawa was stronger than any one of them. But not all of them. The masters moved together, not with power, with unity. And slowly, inevitably, Manawa began to fall, not because he lacked strength, but because he stood alone. When it ended, he was on his knees, broken, bleeding, still looking up, still unwilling to yield. They dragged him across the stone toward the edge of the mountain. The boy followed. He should not have, but he did. He watched as Iriandel passed judgment, words lost to the wind. And then they cast Manawa from the cliff. He vanished into the mist below, gone. The masters turned away, the lesson was complete, balance restored. But the boy did not move. He walked to the edge, looked down. And when Mr. Pfister told me this part, he didn't hesitate. He said he did not feel fear, he did not feel sadness. He felt curious, because what he saw that day was not a man who failed. He saw a man who stood against all of them, a man who believed in something different, and for just a moment, the boy believed it too. I didn't hear this part until later. After Manawa was cast from the mountain, things didn't go back to normal. He said about a year had passed. Training continued, lessons continued, everything looked the same, but it didn't feel the same. So one day, a small group of students made their way down the mountain, not sent, not ordered, just wandering farther than they were supposed to. He was one of them. They found the cave by accident, half hidden in the rock, older than the monastery. The entrance was carved with symbols none of them understood. Storms, lightning, something ancient. When they stepped inside, the air changed, heavier. They moved deeper into the chamber and found him. At first, they didn't recognize him. It had been a year. The man standing there wasn't the one they remembered. He was leaner, harder. Like everything unnecessary had been stripped away. Then he spoke. I wondered when someone would find this place. And they knew. Manawa. The group shifted. Some stepped back, some moved into stance. But Manawa didn't react. He wasn't watching them. He was watching him. The boy. He stepped slightly aside, and that's when they saw it. A massive hammer, ancient, heavy. The air around it hummed like distant thunder waiting to break. This place existed before your masters, Manawa said, before their balance, before their rules. It was built for something else. His eyes stayed on the boy. They teach you to wait, he said. The world will not wait for you. No command followed, no invitation. He turned and walked deeper into the cave, and that was all. The students left, but the boy didn't leave it behind. That night and the nights that followed, he went back alone. No one told him to, no one knew. He just returned. And every time, Manawa was there, waiting. There were no speeches, no lessons explained, only one word, again. Strike, fail. Again. Too slow, again. Too controlled. Again. Hours turned into nights. No praise, no comfort. Only correction. Until one moment, just one felt right. Clean, fast, final. And Manawa stopped. There it is, he said. That was the closest thing to approval he ever gave. And the boy understood. This was different. Not balance. Truth. He told me he stopped trying to go back to the way he was taught. Because now he knew. There was something else. Something the monastery would never give him. And then, one day, Manawa was gone. No warning. No sign of where he went. The cave felt different, empty. The hammer was gone too. And the chamber was broken. Stone shattered, deep cracks in the walls, scorch marks burned into the rock. Not training, a fight, a real one. And he told me he didn't need to be told who had been there. The masters. Not all of them, but enough, the Four Wind Masters. And Manawa. Something had happened in that cave. Something final. And whatever it was, Manawa walked away from it, because the hammer was gone. And so was he. The boy stood there for a long time, looking at what was left, at what had been proven, and what had been taken. And that's when he knew, not wondered. The monastery was not for him. So when you hear the name Mr. Pfister, understand this. He wasn't taken. He wasn't turned. He chose his path, and by the time anyone noticed, he was already walking it.